Hi guys, I'd like to show you a demonstration of the Berserker modded controller on Forza 5. We have the XBOX One Berserker controller with the optional paddle switch upgrades here on the back, and of course the aftermarket indicator that we install right there front and center. We'll get more into that later. I just wanted to show you the button layout. I use button layout 3 here in Forza. One of the most annoying things with Forza is that the right stick press is unused, and there's no way to change the layout to use that. And the reason I say that's annoying is the camera change button either has to be the back button or up here on the right bumper, which forces you to take your trigger. Either you have to move your thumb off of the steering to change cameras, or if you map it up here, you've actually got to take your finger off the accelerator, neither of which are things I want to do in the middle of a race. So what I've actually done with this Berserker modded controller is I've remapped the camera change button to the right thumbstick. And the reason that works is the right thumbstick is unused. So any stock button that's unused in the game, you can actually remap that to your liking with this controller. The other thing I've done is I've remapped the shift up and the shift to down to these paddle switches, and it's not just regular shifting, it's actually clutch shifting. It's actually going to automatically clutch for me every time I tap these paddle switches. And another nice thing about these paddle switches is you can press anywhere high or low on the paddle switch in the middle, anywhere you want, and get a nice solid tactile press. And what that does for you is it really doesn't matter where your hands lay. I mean, if you like to run your hands high on the controller, low on the controller, it doesn't really matter. You can press this paddle switch anywhere. Anyway, enough talk, let's get into a demonstration here. Let me load up a track and I can show you guys this controller in action. One thing to note is the Forza game pack that's loaded on this modded controller is just one of many things you can do with this controller. So this is not specifically a Forza controller, although it works fantastic for it. You can use this for first-person shooters, you can use this for fighting games, it doesn't matter. The controller is completely programmable. Again, we'll get into that later, but I wanted to show you the demo here first off. Let me get into the race. So another nice feature, what I've done is when I tap the right paddle switch to get a shift up, I've actually asked the controller to give me a quick blink on the green LEDs, just a confirmation that yep, it's upshifting for me. Same thing when I shift down, when I press this left paddle switch, I'll get a red flash. So it's just another indication to me out of the corner of my eye. I'll know that I'm shifting up or down. So, you know, if you kind of hold this controller up where you can see it kind of between you and the TV, it's kind of nice out of the corner of your eye. You kind of get an acknowledgement that that shift happened. So the first thing I'm going to show you when I get into the race is the camera change remap. I personally find this really useful, and the reason is because I'm doing the shifting on the paddle switches with my ring fingers back here, and I'm doing braking and acceleration with my index fingers, and I'm steering with my left thumbstick. I'm looking around with my right thumbstick to make sure I don't knock into any of my competitors, but sometimes I want to change the camera view, and now I can do that just by pressing the right thumbstick. Let me show you that. Here I am pressing the right thumbstick, and we're getting the camera change. And so I know it's subtle, but I find that really useful in the middle of a match to be able to keep my thumb on here. I'm not moving it around. You know, all my fingers are set permanently on the buttons I'm going to use for the whole race. I'm not going to move them off. And honestly, it just helps me get better control of my driver. Let's go ahead and show you the shifting demo. I'm going to go ahead and accelerate here slowly, and I'll press the right paddle switch, and yep, there's an upshift. And the nice thing about this controller is you're going to get the same exact a nice quick hard shift, upshift every time, and same thing with the downshift. And so you're not going to spend time fiddling with the clutch. You're just going to get a nice clutch shift every time. Oops, watching the controller here instead of steering. So again, every time I upshift, I've asked the controller to do that green blink for me on the front, and every time I downshift, I've asked for a red blink. So that's it. That's what I've done for Forza. It's pretty basic, but it actually makes a difference in my races. It's just a lot more comfortable for my hands personally. It makes shifting a heck of a lot easier. And then those few times where you've got, you know, you're neck and neck with a competitor and you need to take a look and you just, you know, can't get it, you know, the view that you want, it's real easy to press that right thumbstick and change views. So go ahead, and if you want to watch a demonstration of the Viking Forge and how we created this game pack or rune pack for Forza, go ahead and stick around and keep watching this demonstration. This software you're looking at here is the Viking Forge. So if you own a Berserker modded controller, you have access to this. You can build any mod you want. And I'll just show you my upshift. We call these, we call these either macros or runes if you're not familiar with our products. So for a shift up, obviously I'm in button layout 3 in Forza, and I think there's like 15 different button layouts, so it could be different for you. But on my button layout, I have to pull the left bumper to get clutch, and I hit B to shift. So you can see I've drawn out here in the editor, when I'm creating my mod, I've drawn out, I start out by pressing the left bumper to disengage the clutch, and I do that upshift. And then this is also these 4 green lines are those 4 green LEDs I have light up for me. It's just a visual confirmation that I'm shifting up. And let me back out and I'll show you the shift down. It's really similar. Same thing, I start up by pressing the left bumper to disengage the clutch, and then it taps the A button. So what you're looking at here is the mod is going to press these buttons and light up these LEDs for me every time I hit the paddle switch. There's one more setting if you guys are building one of these on your own. Up here in the upper right corner it says playback behavior. This is subtle but important depending on what you're trying to do. If you have questions about this, contact support. But for upshifting and downshifting, I recommend you have this play once, play through the loop one time only, and then stop until the button is released and pressed again. What this is going to do is prevent you from getting multiple upshifts. So you'll get one shift, and then you have to actually release and press again before you get another shift. So it'll just prevent your mod from continuously shifting up and down. Yeah, that's about it. Once you've made your runes, or macros as we call them, you organize those together in what we call a rune pack. So this is just a layout screen that lets you, for example, in group 1, this is my shift up rune, and what I've done is I've assigned it to remap it to switch number 4, which is my right paddle switch. And then here in group 2 I've got my shift down, and I've assigned that switch number 2, which happens to be my left paddle switch. And for those of you that are new to the software, almost always you're going to want to click this star button by default. I shouldn't say always, but in this case go ahead and click it. And then my group 3 here, that's my camera change remap. That's why I've remapped that camera change to the right thumbstick. And that's it. That's just this video went longer than I thought, but that's kind of a rundown of one example of something you can use this Berserker controller for. I think it works great. I've had a blast playing Forza with this. It's just I'm not the best racer on the planet, and just this game pack has helped me kind of stay towards the front of the pack. Helps me not miss my shifts. I hit the shifts more often. I don't miss a shift. I don't know how many times before I got this controller I would miss a shift and lose a spot. You'd be in first and the guy's hot on your tail and you think you're going to hold on, and then you miss a shift and that's it. It's game over. It's pretty competitive, so this controller definitely helps out a lot with that. And so yeah, thanks for watching. If you got questions, please check out our other YouTube videos, contact support, stop by our forums, hit up our Facebook page, YouTube, messages, whatever. Find a way to get a hold of us, and we'll talk to you.